I don't think anyone had any clue what was going on. We just knew that there was a leak at Freedom, and that residents weren't supposed to use water at all. Of course, having reported this and living in Charleston, we were just as affected as anyone else. So the first 3 days after the spill, people were coming to work unshowered, basically cleaning up as best you could with like baby wipes or some sort of like, whatever towels you had laying around that you could clean yourself with. Bottled water, bar of soap, and a washcloth was about the best you could do.
Right. Well, what the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it. If you go out west, they have droughts on a regular enough basis that they understand the value of their water. It was pointed out to me by a visiting scientist, and he has spent a lot of time out west and here back east. And he's like, the one thing that you notice when you go out west is that every hotel, every place you go to has fountains, has water fountains. And when you come east, nobody does. And the reason out west is that they want to show you that they have water. And they have water in abundance. It's a very deep psychological thing. What happens here, where we get a lot of rainfall, we take water for granted. We're rarely under water stress in terms of water quantity stress. We just have so much water, and that water has a dilution value to it, so it dilutes our pollution. But what we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious, serious situation, and not one that's just, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it. Citizens care about it. Businesses care about it. It's wildly important to us, and we see it when we realize it when it's gone.
In short, it was a mess. It was a mess. I was lucky. I had water, but that meant I was sort of ground zero for people who needed showers, who needed to fill up water bottles, for people who just kind of wanted a place where they could get away from the no water situation wherever they were and feel a sense of normalcy for a little bit. So I was very, very fortunate. But our staff, our reporters, their families, many of them, I think nearly all of them, they lived in apartments and in homes where they didn't have water either. So this was a story that they were covering, but they were also experiencing firsthand. And that was really important because I think it added an additional sense of urgency to the way the story was reported, not just in our newsroom, but in all of the newsrooms in the Kanawha Valley and the 9 affected counties. I think that anytime you have media affected directly by what they're reporting, it adds a sense of immediacy and urgency to their job and the way they go about doing their job.
The second thing it taught us is that we have to be protective of that water. I mean, we have to be protective of that water because so much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it. It is not just people who care about the environment. They care about the environment because of its value to the people that live here. So we have to be protective of it. And that doesn't mean saying nothing can happen around water, because again, there's so much water that's not even close to possible. But we do have to be vigilant when it comes to being protective of it. rivers are a huge, huge component of the West Virginia landscape. There's more than one reason, at least, why there are so many electrical power producing facilities in West Virginia. We're close to coal, which is the predominant fuel source for those, but also they're lined along the rivers. The rivers are essential in power production and the production of steam that ultimately produces the electricity. And but the typical ratio that people look at is it takes about 80 pounds of water for every pound of coal to produce electricity. And so it's a major asset in our state and a resource for a lot of different industrial sectors.
What we're doing is making something that could be an early warning system, right? So the EPA and local governments can't monitor every stretch of every body of water the whole time, right? But a whole bunch of citizens with pretty cheap sensors and Gatorade bottles could, right? At this point, it's really just about detecting, is something different? Is something weird? Is the water unusually warm? Is it unusually conductive? And then it would be time to come in with test tubes and vials of water and go test it, find out, get the experts in and find out. But it could be the kind of thing where the experts aren't necessarily looking at a stretch of the river, but somebody is worried about it. And they can say, look, you know, every night at midnight, the conductivity spikes. Could you all check this out? At least come and take a look. And that's where I think things can start to get interesting, where the resources of the government or industry even can be like, oh, sure, yeah, we'll go figure that out. And citizens can put that power in their hands. The test run, trying out this little water sensor, put it inside a Gatorade bottle, and it's detecting through 2 screws in the cap of the Gatorade bottle the conductivity of the water. So conductivity of water will change depending on dissolved solids and salts in the water. So things that could be bad could be detected. Not things that aren't bad can also be detected. So that has to be investigated. So this Gatorade bottle with this little board in it that slides right in the mouth of the bottle they put it in a cinder block. The challenge was to keep it secure in the water. So they actually mounted it inside a cinder block, and they just tossed it in, and we're gonna pull it out tomorrow. It's writing every 10 minutes. It's writing the conductivity, the temperature, and the time onto a little memory chip, little SD card. And we'll pull it out and see, A, did it stay dry? Did it work? And B, did it take readings? And can we see the temperature and conductivity change even over 24 hours?